Hi everyone, Susie Kerr-Wright, the Cosmic Cupcake with your AstroBites for April 13th through the 20th, 2014. And yes, I'm back finally. I think I was off, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks. I didn't do a video. Not sure. I have been traveling so much. I am jet lagged, exhausted. But I am here just in time to give you a report on one of the 2 biggest astrological weeks in 2014. And I want to start out by letting you know, first of all, that this Thursday, the 17th, is going to be the next class in a continuing series called What's Your Sign, Baby? And that takes place at my office in Royal Parkway. If you want to go, there is a Facebook event, so just friend me on Astro Girl Susie, and I will send you that e-bite, and you can RSVP and be there. And this month's topic is going to be, of course, Aries. Just before the sun goes into Taurus, we're going to get Aries in there. Okay, so if you know an Aries, if you are an Aries, if you don't like Aries, if you love Aries, whatever, we all have Aries in our chart somewhere, and it's going to apply to you in some way, shape, or form. You may have planets in Aries, you may not, but either way, you want to learn all about this sign. So come on down. It's only $10 and it is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. this Thursday. So I look forward to seeing you there. So end of commercial. So let's get on to the forecast, huh? All right, we are going to start this week with Pluto making its annual retrograde trip on Monday, April 14th. Now, Pluto does this it does it for about 6 months every year, so this isn't really big news, except it's really big news this time. So I wanted to quote you something that Jeff Green, who wrote a book on Pluto, is up there on my shelf, said about Pluto retrograde. He said, and I quote, "Relative to the 4 natural evolutionary conditions," and those 4 conditions being 1, a dimly evolved state, as he puts it, 2, being in the herd state, which is following the leader, 3, being in the individuated state, and 4, the spiritual state. Pluto retrograde means that half the people, and he says half because half of the people in the world were born with Pluto retrograde already, so half the people are not accepting the status quo in such a way as to reflect their own natural evolutionary condition and state. This process allows for collective evolution at all 4 evolutionary levels and conditions. And then he further goes on to say Pluto retrograde accelerates in its own way the evolutionary process individually and therefore collectively. So we are being really provided an opportunity right now to become who we are at the core level for the greater good, that's kind of what it's all about anyways, guys. The reason this Pluto retrograde is so important is because of what happens next week. So this is kind of a little precursor to what's going to be going on next week with the Cardinal Grand Cross. But we will talk more about that down the road. So for now, what you really want to know is prepare for endings. And I don't mean just endings. I mean, I'm talking about completions, life cycle completions, personal completions. This is huge, guys. This is a lot of very important evolutionary energy. This is clearing the decks, not only for your personal growth, but with the knowledge that things are for the greater good, for the best for all. So on tax day now, we're going to add, let's add something to that, right? The lunar eclipse. And we have, we always have those, so again, not that big a deal. But again, with all of this stuff starting to compound and really snowball here, we're going to have a couple of wild weeks. So the lunar eclipses will always bring out the emotional side of things. So this eclipse falls on the I am versus we are axis, which is Aries and Libra, and is in a square, or what's known as a very challenging position, to Pluto retrograde. And a square demands action. Something is going to break, kids, I will tell you. This eclipse is also it's reflective of the eclipse that happened in April 1995, and also slightly one that happened in the same axis, the Aries-Libra axis, in October 2005. So see if either of those dates were significant in your life. And what you will be looking at is a chance to review and reflect on the way you were doing relationships then, because this is all about relationships right now, and see where you need to release and forgive and let go just of stuff, release stuff. So this is very deep stuff here, kids, and not everyone acts like an adult when faced with such profound inner changes. So what we are likely to encounter over the next several weeks on a daily basis is everything from a deep sense of connection to people, to everyone, to complete chaos in our personal interactions with other people. So it's extreme, and how we manage it, of course, is what? Up to us. We are only responsible for our own actions. Not reacting is the number one thing to remember. Okay, count to 10 before you open your mouth. And and then we also need to add Jupiter opposing Pluto into the mix. Yes, on Sunday the 20th, Easter Sunday. So Easter is going to be a very, very, very interesting day. So I decided to pull a tarot card to see, just asking the question, what is the energy of this upcoming week going to be like? And I should have known. I got the Tower, okay? And if you don't know anything about the tarot and what the Tower means, I'll tell you what the book, The Spiritual Tarot, has to say about it. It says, it talks about the tarot as kind of a living, breathing, the tower as a living, breathing entity. This is one of the functions of the tower, is to shatter existing modes of thinking. When rigidity and delusion are overthrown, a flash of clear vision may follow. There's your hope, kids, okay? Sometimes entrenched situations only need a little jolt, and some of you may only experience a little jolt. But I'm prepared to deliver more if necessary. Don't tempt me. That is where we're going for the next few weeks, actually, guys. So hang in there. Now, my forte, as most of you know, is understanding and translating how the planets interact with us on an individual basis. I'm a one-on-one. I want to, get in your head, talk to you about you and what's going on. I don't generally do what's called mundane astrology, that's about, governments, politics, earth changes, global things that are going on. I kind of bring it down to what's in it for us, Of course, all of that affects us, but there are greater astrologers out there who handle that type of astrology. So, however, this week I really been getting very, very strong hits that the energy that we're heading into through the end of this month is going to be very similar to what we felt following 9/11. And I need to be very clear, I'm not predicting a 9/11 type of event, although we are going to have some significant things going on globally. So, but if you remember how we became very protective of our home and family, our values seemed to change like overnight after 9/11, right? And we experienced a lot of patriotism and saw some great acts of heroism and charity during that period of time. I feel that this is the type of energy that we're going to start seeing again. Now, I hope that it's not due to any type of natural or unnatural, disasters. But since the powers that be are still flexing their muscles and trying to rule instead of lead this world, we're very likely to see some major upheavals on this globe. And people that are holding on, like our, the old governments that aren't working and programs that aren't working and things like that, that energy has to manifest somewhere. And if it doesn't manifest in change of those old ways of doing things, it will manifest in earth changes and significant impacts. So I'd ask that you take the time to hold the space for the world to accept some of the challenges and changes with ease and grace this week. We are more than halfway through, thank you, the 7 squares of Uranus and Pluto. So now is the time to find the solution. After butting our heads against the wall, it's obvious this stuff isn't going to work, or just the ways that we're doing things in our personal lives, our jobs, our relationships, our, old habits, bad physical habits. It's like whatever it is for you, it's time to create that revolution, that personal revolution, and change it now. This is solution time. Step back, look for another way. Let go, breathe in peace. And we will all get through this week just fine, right? because change can be good. I happen to like it. Not everybody does. So be kind to each other out there this week. And next week we will talk more about the Cardinal Grand Cross that's coming up. And again, this is just a little bit of a preview into what could be happening. If you'd like to know more about how all of this impacts you personally, because yes, it is all about us, right? Contact me. You can go to my website at astrogirl12.com, or you can contact me through my email at astrologernashville@gmail.com. And I'll be at Goddess in the Moon on Monday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Cosmic Connections from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Yes, I'm back to my normal schedule. And this coming weekend, Friday through Sunday, there's a really cool thing happening in the Nashville area. It's the Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival. And I will be there doing mini readings. So until next time, kids, have a sweet and delicious week. See ya.